morning, folks. This is Deb Delapiano, and this is your Chain Reaction Report. You know, I've been working on the website, and make no bones about it, it's going live soon, but I'm not even close to being done yet. But I got to thinking about this the other night as I was working on this. And so we're going to talk a little bit this morning about just how culturally stunted the American public has become. And I'm not talking about, Hollywood and the movies as far as culture is concerned. I'm talking about other stuff. So when I look at, the kind of shit that I've been looking at from the right wing, say, over the last couple decades, this English-only stuff. We can only speak the English language. People who come here from other countries, they want, not only do they want them assimilated into society, but it's almost like the Native Americans whose children were stolen and put in boarding schools to become Americanized. The right wing wants people from other countries who are here. They would prefer actually that they're not here at all. People like Nick Fuentes and a bunch of other white nationalists want the borders closed completely to anybody else outside of the white race. Okay? So they not only would rather not have them here, but if they're going to be here, they can only act like Americans. They can only speak English. When Marjorie Taylor Greene has filed bills for English only, that's basically that's her big sum contribution to society since her election. That and demonizing gays and lesbians, transgender people, anybody who doesn't fit within the norm of the right-wing white society that they're trying to create here in America. But when I was a kid and I was in school, my favorite class, believe it or not, was geography. I almost said geometry. That was my least favorite class. But geography, that was my first, number one. I loved learning about other countries, and I loved learning about the kind of food they ate. I loved learning about how they farmed. I loved learning about their language. I loved learning about their customs. And I was particularly fascinated, the right wing will be happy to know, with the Latin American and the Mexican cultures and their history, because they have a reverence for their history, good and bad, okay? Unlike here in America, where we just want to whitewash everything and pretend, hell, we never had racism here. We still don't have racism here. We're not racist, are we? No, hell no. No siree. The other thing about when I was in school is before I got out of high school, I learned 3 languages. Now, French, I went to Catholic school. French was required from the time I was in grammar school. I took 7 years of French right up through high school. I believe I started in the 8th grade, and I took it right through my senior year. And, while I can't speak it, it's been a long time now. I'm 68 years old. While I can't speak it, I can still understand it, and I can still read it. In fact, I've read it in online newspapers, working on the website. I had to take 2 years of Latin required. That was my sophomore and junior year. At Catholic school, when I was in school, the Mass was still being said in Latin. It was a requirement so that we could follow the Mass. I learned a lot of stuff from taking Latin, about the basics of language, how to conjugate verbs and stuff like that. So there was Latin. And then, I'm sure the right wing will love to hear this, I took Spanish in my junior and senior year, and in my senior year at graduation got the highest award. I had the highest average in Spanish. I had 99. And I love the language, and I can still read that as well. And I can still understand people who speak it, even though I can't speak it fluently because I haven't used it. But the fact of the matter is, the point I'm making is, we had a whole different viewpoint then. Actually having languages was a bonus in your job. If you worked for the airlines, it was a bonus. There were some jobs that required you to learn other languages. It was considered a boon on your resume to have that kind of ability. Not here in America today. If you can't wave the flag and speak Spanglish, you are in trouble here. You know what? We're in a big, bad situation in America here. We are on par to turn this country over to an entire generation of kids who are getting all of their culture on social media. We are on par to destroy the public school systems based on not only ideology, but the fact that the GOP wants charter schools so they can help out their rich buddies. Look, this is all a fact of life, okay? This is all a fact, okay? They put in Betsy DeVos to destroy the school system, and she's gotten us awfully close to that. She was a proponent of vouchers and charter schools from the day Donald Trump appointed her, a woman who had absolutely no experience in the educational system, was never a teacher. Her big reason for getting her job was she was a mega donor to Donald Trump, who wanted to culturally stunt the nation's children. I have to tell you, I have a great deal of fear for this country. And I don't see the American people pushing back on any of this. And I know there are people out there who don't like this, but who think this is just going to go away because they would rather not look at it. It's hard to look at the facts. It's hard to look at the truth. It's hard to look at this country right now. And I'm not talking about what Joe Biden has done to it. I think Joe Biden is trying to reverse the worst of what has happened here in just 4 short years. You know, this has been this progression towards us becoming a closed society has been in the works since before the 80s. It's been in the works since the Nixon administration. It's been in the works for a very long time. And with Donald Trump, you know, with his entry into politics, it changed the whole perspective here. It was like pouring gasoline on a fire. This is a man who has brought out the absolute worst in American society. He has brought out the bigots, the racists, the anti-Semitics, the male supremacists. That's another big concern for America. Whether women want to wake up to this or not, I don't know, but that's going to be the topic the next time around, because I'm actually working on that right now on the website, the move to male superiority that's going on almost daily. And you know what? The right wing wants you to believe that you're canceling culture if you stop listening to Louis C.K. and Joe Rogan. Their idea of culture are people who denigrate people who aren't like them. You know, Louis C.K. is on the I'm Sorry tour right now. You know, the Academy, you know, look I'm not defending Will Smith. I'm not defending what he did. He didn't have to resort to violence. He could have used his words. Okay, we all learned that. I get that. Okay, and I get that there needs to be accountability, but there was no accountability for Louis C.K., none whatsoever. Now he's out on tour making millions of dollars by making fun of the women he sexually abused. That's what the Republicans consider culture. I say cancel it across the fucking board. That's not the kind of culture this country needs. And for Louis C.K., after Will Smith gets a 10-year suspension from the Academy, for Louis C.K. to win a fucking award, a Grammy Award, is outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. And by the way, the women behind Hollywood, or the Grammys, who stood up and cheered for him, they're disgusting to me. I'm sorry, it was the Grammys. It wasn't the Academy Awards. The Academy Awards was Will Smith. I don't watch any of this shit. I just see the clips, okay? But behind the Grammy Awards is another reason for me to never watch that shit again. Not that I've watched it in the last 10 years, because there's not one band that's worthy of winning an award at this point. Maybe our culture should be we sit around and listen to Leonard Skinner sing about Sweet Home Alabama, Freebird, and the ode that the Van Zandt brothers just wrote to one of the most ignorant men in America, Ron DeSantis. That's their idea of culture. Their idea of culture is belittling women, for number one. It's been done across the board. It's not just, it's not just our buddy. It's J.K. Rowling and her threat that transgender people pose to women. You know what? Transgender people don't pose any threat to women. The people who are posing threats to women are the Louis C.K.'s of the world and the Republican Party, who is oppressing women across the board on a number of topics, not just abortion. Not just abortion. White supremacy is very real here in America, but so is male supremacy. Now we have incels who are involuntarily celibate and blame women for all their misery of not being able to get a fucking date and have sex. So let's go out and shoot up some women. Wake up, people. I mean, what the fuck is wrong with you? Louis C.K. isn't funny. We have people, I listen to people, my current boss, one of my managers, talking about Bill Cosby. Well, they went up to his apartment, as if, if a woman goes up to a man's apartment, she's fair game to be raped and drugged. Because she's a slut even before she does anything. Nicholas Fuentes, who doesn't believe women should have the right to vote. They're here to make babies. We have legislators in states trying to pass laws that prevent married women from using birth control. What's going to be next? Requiring heterosexual women to get married and have children? Is that going to be next on the docket? What the fuck is wrong with you? We're in a pathetic way here. I have a sister who's 80 years old. She always says to me, I'm glad I'm where I am right now in life. I'm at the twilight of my life. I don't want to have to, live through this. I'm sitting here and I'm watching all of the things that I fought for all of my life. Both as a woman and a lesbian. I'm watching all of these rights slip away. And we can't motivate women. They're all too busy waiting for their pool parties. We've become a nation of ignorant people. And we're going to raise children who are also ignorant. But you can't whitewash history, no matter how hard you try. Because the plain and simple fact of the matter is, no matter how you want to look at this, we are a racist society here in America. It is systemic. It has been bred into the system by racists. And we didn't discover America. Leif Erikson was here well before Christopher Columbus. And we aren't American, actually. We're all from immigrants. There's only one group of Americans, They're called Native Americans for a reason. They are the nativists. And we got this country by wiping them out, both physically and culturally. We literally brought disease to this land where it didn't exist before. We not only wiped them out by bringing diseases here, we wiped them out by annihilating them. And history will not be wiped out, no matter what you try. And we did, by the way, bring the black man here to enslave him, to put him in service to the superior white race. Y'all better wake up, folks. And you better wake up before it's too late. Because you know what? We look an awful lot like Nazi Germany. I keep saying it. And I'm going to keep saying it no matter how much anyone wants to hear it. I, for one, I'm not going there. I'll talk to you later.